yeah, seeing that empty start gate, I was like, that was the last thing that I was expecting to happen. It definitely ruined the moment, like, of winning the overall. Definitely lots of tension between us. I'm so frustrated and so mad at my performance. It felt like it wasn't my brain reacting, it was my body reacting. I came out of that and I'm like, I don't know how I'm alive right now. This could have gone very badly, very quickly.
Jackson Goldstone, welcome back to the Downtime podcast, mate. It's been a little while since we last chatted on the show. How have you been? There's a lot of things happened in the last 12 to 18 months since we last spoke.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, when was the last time we spoke? Was it a year ago now? So
I think it was a bit more, with Geordie as well. We did that little thing for Fox.
Right, yeah, okay, just over then.
Yeah, and you were still laid up with your knee, I think. So,
right.
Yeah, been a while.
No, it's been good. And plenty to catch up on.
I imagine it's been hectic, because you've, had a pretty successful 2025 season. Have you had a lot of brands and businesses and media and people kind of wanting a piece of you over the last, I don't know, how many weeks away post season, 7 or 8?
Yeah, I mean, the last, kind of few weeks after the season's been a lot. Yeah, lots of people definitely, talking and asking for content or this or that or, video stuff, but, it kind of goes with it and it's part of the game and it's kind of a cool opportunity. So, trying to do, as much as I can, but also trying to take a big break as well. So, kind of getting back into the swing of things now with some training and filming and more ratting, but, it's been a good break so far.
Nice. Do you enjoy that side of things, like dealing with all the brands and stuff? It's a lot of work, but I kind of get the impression you enjoy certain elements of it anyway.
Yeah, some of it's fun. I'm not amazing at it. I'm still figuring out how to, do negotiations and all that stuff. But like working with the brands for like videos or just like, projects or just, random stuff is kind of where I enjoy more. And definitely going to have some cool stuff coming out.
I look forward to it, man. Well, let's go back to the start of 2025, because you opened the season at Hardline Medina, which was the very place where you picked up a season-ending ACL injury the year before. And there was a lot of internet commentators saying maybe that's not the smartest move to be there, considering it took you out for the previous season. What drove you to be at that event?
Yeah, I don't know. It was obviously coming off that crash and coming off the whole off season. That was my first proper race back. I was feeling really good on the bike, and I had a whole 9 months of training basically to go into that race, just because I was in the gym so much. So I felt really good and fit, and had tons of time in New Zealand on the bike. So that one was an interesting one. I didn't go to that race with the intentions of going absolutely 100% or 110% as hard as I could to go for the win. I was kind of just slowly building up through the week. I was cruising and kind of not really feeling it. And then kind of that last day I started feeling really good on the bike and kind of got that switch into race mindset and I was kind of just able to put a comfortable fast run down. It wasn't something that I was scared of doing, and I didn't want to take that extra 10% risk to potentially injure myself again. But I felt like I rode right within the level of my abilities and was able to pull it off. But it was definitely a cool one, because coming off and that's the race that I was thinking of that whole training season, so for the year off. So a lot of people were talking about it, a lot of people were thinking and saying I shouldn't go, but it was definitely a good one for the mindset to kind of, get me back there and get me back in that race mindset and kind of overcome that.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It couldn't have gone better in a way. When did you spot that inside line that Troy took over the berm?
That was at the top of the race from literally 5 minutes before. Yeah. They had a little screen up and I wasn't really watching. I was kind of just I don't know what I was doing. I was walking around pacing probably. And Steve Pete was up there. He was watching it. And I glanced over right as the replay was going and they was showing his line there. And Steve was talking about it. He was looking at the times and it was so Troy gained 2 seconds in this split, but he did this line. And so we were doing the math and stuff. And I was should I go for it? I'm this is kind of one of those races that that I felt I was able to, take a risk. And it's not there's a an overall to play for or something like that. So it's like a one and done kind of thing. So, if I were to try something new and it not pay off, not the end of the world, as a World Cup. But yeah, it was basically just before the run that I went and did that line.
That's insane, man. How do you get the mindset to hit something at like a good pace when you've not even, I mean, I'm guessing you didn't even scope that line. No one had really spotted that it was a thing, right?
Yeah, well, it's pretty blind over the corner. So yeah, I didn't really know what I was coming at, but tried to like kind of go slow into it and get a bit of a peek before I dropped in. But yeah, definitely was coming into it pretty blind.
Fair play. Good effort, man. And yeah, that it was clear that run meant a lot to you, I think. Like it felt like it was a verification that you were back for you. Is that how it felt to you?
Yeah, 100%. It just felt like, like we're back in the, where we left off. And it was definitely a big relief off my shoulders that, I can do this again. And, to do it at that same venue and at that same race was kind of the cherry on top. So yeah, definitely kind of worked out pretty good.
Nice. And you didn't really get involved in any other like pre-season racing or events particularly. Was that like a conscious decision to save energy or to keep your performance like under wraps, or was there an injury or something going on behind the scenes? What kept you away from all of that stuff?
There was one small injury that I had preseason, just like a shoulder one, kind of took me out for 3 weeks, but that wasn't, really anything crazy. But I think the reason to not like do as much racing after Hardline was there wasn't really much around. And I was still in New Zealand and there's a few races going on there, but I was just kind of pretty smoked after Hardline. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. And then, I was basically just like home, and we had some team camps, and then I had some passport issues and like all this stuff. And then it was like, shit, season's here. So, I kind of just like didn't really get around to it and was just focusing on being at home and training on a little block at home.
Yeah. Did that impact how you felt going into Poland? Like not knowing, I mean, you had that Hardline thing, which was obviously a good, stamp to say, right, we're back, but you don't kind of know where you stack up against anyone else. Is that a good thing for you coming into the first round of the year, or would you have liked to have had a bit more understanding?
I probably would have, looking back, I would have for sure done another race or two if I had the chance. But I think this year it's going to be looking good. Like we have some ideas for other smaller races and stuff. So I'll hopefully be doing some smaller stuff before the World Cup season. But it kind of it depends on the schedule and depends on if things work out. But I usually try and make it out to stuff I can. Just didn't work out this year.
I feel like there was a lot of expectations on you going into Poland, right? You'd shown that what you were capable of in 2023. Hardline had showed that you'd come back from that ACL injury. But I think like a lot of fans and people kind of wrote you off after Poland, right? Because the results that we almost expect to see from you weren't there. Like, how did you feel that weekend? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt written off after Poland as well, actually. Poland was not the start that I was looking for at all. We had like kind of some annoying travels coming into that race and like super early mornings, and just like didn't come into the week like feeling like 100%, and then kind of just escalated from there. It was, not amazing weather, and I ended up getting like really, really sick. Just like head cold, nose was coughing, like all that, like everything, whole shebang. So trying to like ride in like wet, snowy, muddy conditions, being sick, and like just, at a World Cup, everyone else is, going fast because it's a flatter track as well. So I'm just like trying to go, but I can't go anywhere. And it felt like just the whole world was against me that week. Like I was just struggling the whole time. So yeah, I definitely wasn't the ideal start that we were looking for. I came out 20th out. Basically on that quality day, I was like, turned into just trying to make the final at the end of the day. And so I was at least stoked that I was able to do that and keep myself in the points. But definitely coming away with 20th was not what I was after. So it was good to get a rebound.
Yeah. How do you move on from it?
Yeah. I mean, that was a tough one. Like I kind of had to go back and, refocus. And I had a week off between that race and Ludenville was the next one. and went to Andorra for that week. And I basically was like, okay, I got to get my stuff together. Like this isn't good enough. Like, okay, what do I need to do? So I basically just trained like a madman for that week straight, and did a bunch of downhill testing and riding and big pedals and gym work, and being up in altitude there was cool too. I felt super fit in that week. Like I definitely made improvements just in that 1 week, and, got over the sickness and all that. So was able to come back firing for Ludenville.
You genuinely feel you're able to make a noticeable improvement in like 1 week of good work?
Well, maybe it was just coming off the sickness and feeling a lot better from that. That could have been it. But yeah, I think there's some days that you get where you get a really good day on the bike and you're like, okay, that was like, we got somewhere there. And yeah, I just had a few of those days in a row in Andorra, and yeah, just kind of got back into that feel, and yeah, was able to show it in Ludenville.
Well, yeah, Ludenville is that classic kind of track of two halves. The bottom half of it, I think everyone would say, has got your name written all over it. The top half, not so much. How do you deal with a track like that, where you know that you can set part of it on fire and that another bit of it's going to be, to some extent, damage limitation?
Yeah, so when I raced there in 2023, that was the case. Was I struggled up top, and then I was good down bottom. I think I was like 3 seconds back, and I was able to pull it back to the bottom within, I think a second or so. Like, got pretty close in the end. So yeah, I knew basically plan for this year's one was like, I need to catch up at the top. Like that's where I'm losing all my time. So if I can like maintain, like, I'm not going to beat them at the top. There's no way. If I can just be like within touch and we're like close enough to be able to excel down bottom, that was kind of the goal. And yeah, I don't really know what I did different in that final race run for Ludenville. I got a really good run on the top stuff. I hit one new inside line up top, and yeah, I think I just may have gotten a good run at it, and maybe a good wind luck as well. But yeah, I was able to stay in touch for that top section, and then was able to push really hard on the bottom and gain a lot of time.
Yeah, and you've been famously running a bit of weight on the bike this year. Do you feel that makes much of a difference in those sort of circumstances?
Yeah, so Ludenville was where we added that weight.
Okay.
I can't remember if we went, how high we went. I think we went up to a kilo underneath the bottom bracket in Ludenville, and I think we went even more in Leogang. I think that's what it was. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, definitely trying to find any small gains we can. Those little things sometimes help. Just trying to keep me moving in a straight line. It actually kind of helps the bike get that kind of like more planted feel for a bit of a lower center of gravity too. I mean, that's the idea of it. It's not like a night or day difference, but we're trying to find small changes here and small benefits. So yeah, just trying to look at everything really.
Do you love mountain biking? Do you enjoy listening to the podcast and following the gravity race scene? Do you also have a genuine passion for social media? Well, then we might have the perfect role for you. We're looking to bring a part-time social media producer into the Downtime podcast team, working 1 day per week. Downtime is growing, and we're sitting on a huge amount of great content, episodes, clips, conversations, and opinions. This role is about helping that content reach more people in smarter ways. The job has two key parts. First, creating and posting social assets from the podcast, pulling clips, shaping content for different platforms, and publishing it consistently with an understanding of what actually works. Secondly, analysing performance, looking at the mountain bike social media landscape, spotting patterns, understanding what's hitting and why, and using that insight to help improve our impact over time. This isn't about jumping on every trend, it's about understanding mountain bike media, the gravity race scene, and how audiences engage with content. It's a paid role, 1 day per week, and ideal for someone who enjoys both the creative and analytical sides of social media. Also, you can be based anywhere in the world. To apply, just email chris@downtimepodcast.com with your CV and a few words about why you think you'd be a good fit for the role. Applications close on the 22nd of February 2026. We're looking forward to hearing from you. I was kind of blown away by the fact that in your race run, you switched your GoPro off halfway down because
yeah.
You thought you hadn't started it at the top, and in your head you thought you were turning it on. How do you have the space in your brain for stuff like that when you're riding a track that steep and challenging at World Cup race winning pace? Like, Have you got this inner monologue going on throughout the run?
No, I mean, yeah, that wasn't planned at all. I think I turned my GoPro on at the top of the race run, like 3 minutes before my drop time. So like way earlier than I usually do. And then just within that time frame, I like forgot that it was on, I guess, and then dropped in. And then for the whole like top of my run, I was like going, but I was like, oh, like, did I turn my GoPro on or not? Like that's all I was really thinking of on like the flat straights when I'm just in my tuck position. All I'm looking at is like my stem and my GoPro. And I'm like, I wonder if that GoPro is on right there. And yeah, I was for sure that it was off. I was like 100% sure I didn't turn it on. And then I go across the bridge and I'm like, okay, I got a second here. I'll like turn it on to see if I can just get anything, you know? And then I just hear the beeps of it turning off. And I'm like, oh, no, that's the worst thing that could have happened because, you know, then we missed the lower half of the run. But yeah, definitely wasn't planned and wasn't intentional. So well, hopefully won't be doing that again.
And it was the lower half. There was like 3 turns probably that looked like that's where you won the race, like quite near the end of the track, to be fair. Like the speed you carried around those turns feels like that was what enabled you to
I'm just hiding my lines from you guys, just not showing them for next year.
That's the one. Yeah. What is it just a commitment thing, do you think, in turns like that enabled you to get that much extra speed? Are you doing something different?
I mean, the cornering question is an interesting one. I think like my whole life I've been, you know, riding berms and dirt jumps and like berms and stuff like are something that I've loved and always been, you know, progressing at and trying to get better. And I think kind of the way my bike's set up, the way I ride everything, it's made to go fast around berms. And I knew that section was where I'm going to gain time. And I felt like I was, you know, just having so much fun hitting that corner, that right left section as hard as I could after the scrub wall. And yeah, I knew that's like those are the sections I had to gain time. Like I was trying to make up and hold on to them at the top. And then those were the sections that I needed to push as hard as I could. So yeah, I basically just gave it everything, like just on the edge of the tires, basically falling over. So yeah, it's pretty crazy feeling going out of the corner that fast though.
Yeah, it was impressive to watch, mate, for sure. And it must be a good boost for the morale, right? To win on a track where you know you've got a deficit up top after, you know, the way the season started in Poland. You must have walked away from that feeling pretty good. Yeah,
that was okay. That was like the weight off our shoulders again. Like, okay, we're back again. You know, I had that feeling in Hardline, and then it got worse in Poland, and then it had that feeling again in Ludenville, where I was like, okay, we're good again. So
we're cooking on gas, and back to back with Leogang with not much time for turnaround, and the travel for a lot of you wasn't straightforward, right?
Yeah, I've had a horrible travel that one actually. I'll break into that one a little bit, but yeah, basically we had some flight issues, and there wasn't a seat on my flight for me to go to Munich from I think we were in Toulouse or something, so Ludenville to Leogang. And yeah, I ended up having to go to Frankfurt and then take a train to Munich, and lost my passport along the way.
Oh, man.
And so yeah, this like 5-6 hour travel day turned into a full day effort after just winning a World Cup the day before, and then going into another one the next day. I was like such a crazy little, you know, week space there where I was, you know, just all over Europe trying to get from A to B.
Does that impact you in any way? Because obviously you have a process and it starts way before race day. Like, does stuff like that get to you in any way?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bummer, but we thankfully had 1 day off, and I basically just like did nothing. Everyone was asking me to go ride, and I just stayed at the spa the entire day and was just like, nope, I need to chill. Like I felt like okay, like I wasn't like, you know, completely exhausted, but I knew that I had a big week ahead of me, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna waste my energy now. So yeah, it was definitely a bit tolling, but I mean, kind of just got to deal with that stuff. It's sometimes out of your control, right? So yeah, just got the short end of the stick there, but we thankfully had a pretty nice ACOM in Leogang, so I was just chilling at the spa the whole time to recover.
Leogang's a pretty sweet place. There's a lot of nice accommodation there, and it ended up being the tightest winning margin of the entire season with 0.059 ahead of Loic. You got two wins in a row. You're starting to close that gap on him in the overall. At what point do you start thinking about the overall? Are you still just fully focused on race wins at this point in the season?
Yeah, so third race in, still definitely early, but you always have to be thinking about the overall if that's, like in touch. That's kind of always the main goal, and you got to start at the start of the season. Like you can't, like having that Poland race right at the start, puts me on the back foot, and I had to win 2 in a row just to get the jersey back from Loic. Like he was on the podium. Well, he won the first one. I don't think he went as well in Ludenville. And then, he was second in Leogang. And so we were still tight on points, even though I had 2 wins. Having that one bad race really ruined that points race. So, I had to do that for sure to keep up.
Yeah, fair. But it's a solid win by a tiny margin. Then on to Val d'Isole. And at this point in the season, it felt like the momentum was firmly in your corner. Like you owned Val d'Isole this year. I think it's fair to say that was a pretty big race win margin.
Yeah, Val d'Isole, I was looking at that date like weeks and weeks in advance. Like I was like, okay, this is the one. Like I knew I've read well there. I've won my first Elite World Cup there, won Junior Worlds in the past, and I kind of really had a good feeling about that one going into it. So, to be able to pull that one off there as well and go for, I won time training, quali and finals. So I was able to do the whole sweep, which was the first time I did that. And that was a pretty crazy feeling, just going undefeated all weekend.
And a track that a lot of people seem to want to win on, right? It's like a racer's track.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of the perfect tracks that literally just shows you the best rider on the day. And it's simple as that. Like someone can go and have an outstanding, like Emery last year, insane run. Or how much did he win by? Was it 5 or 6?
4 or 5 seconds or something in the wet.
Yeah. So, I mean, like it just goes like it shows like the best rider on the hill, I think. And, the track's gnarly from top to bottom. There's always, sections where there's holes bigger than me and, trying to find backsides and stuff. And they opened up a bunch of new sections and actually slowed it down this year. So it was quite different. But, still classic Val d'Isole with lots of rocks and dust. But, it was a good one this year for sure.
Yeah. And you take the overall lead at this point, I think. And other than having to wear that horrible green for race runs, does it mean anything to you at this point? Like, does it bother you whether you're in green or not at this stage?
I mean, I think the goal is to always be close, whether you're in the green or not. I mean, that's kind of a different story, and it's definitely personal preference. I think at certain points of the year, it's good. Like at the start of the year to be in green, it's kind of good. And then it's almost nicer to be chasing at the end of the season. I felt like kind of at that last, after Lenzerheide, when I was, chasing, it almost felt like it was less pressure because I just, the options were in front of me and I knew what I had to do. So, I think at this point in Val d'Isole, it's only 4th race in. I'm pretty amped to get to the green jersey, show everyone that, we got it. So, I think it was pretty cool at that point of the year.
Yeah, the wins are racking up. We're off to La Tuile, which I think you were pretty excited to be going to, right? You raced the EWS there back in the day, so you knew the area, you knew how cool it was. You've seen the previews of the track. What was it like when you actually turned up and got to ride that thing? Yeah,
turning up to La Tuile was super sick. I was amped coming in there for the drive in. I raced there in 2021 EWS. It was one of those double header EWSs, and that was a fun one. We chose that one because it was like the most lift access for the enduro, so there was like the least amount of pedaling. And I was like, I wanted to do one that year, so we chose that one because I didn't have to pedal that much. So I still got put in the hurt locker, but I came out with a podium at that race. Knew the dirt, knew the area, loved the area. Great food, great, pastries and stuff. And really, really good spot. So, was definitely really excited coming into that. And after seeing, how much work they did to that track, and they did a really good job, it wasn't easy building the track on a hill that steep too. So, yeah, I was pretty impressed with how sick it was this year.
Yeah, it was an insane track. Am I right in saying that you found it a little bit of a struggle to kind of get confidently up to race pace on that track?
Yeah. I mean, so at this point of the season, this is when I won 3 in a row, and I'm starting to get a lot more noise from the outside, and a lot more things are happening. I'm in the green, and there's that was definitely kind of the week that the mental side of things ramped up for me. It got gnarly for sure. And so I was just kind of off all week, trying to figure out what was wrong. And I think it was just kind of the whole noise of it. I was just whoa, this is a lot. So it took me a while. I didn't really feel good until that Q1 run. I was struggling with the track. I was just I don't even really know how to explain what it is. I was just kind of getting stood up in berms and just missing lines by, ever so slightly. And it just didn't feel right, And then, kind of came around at the end of the week, and that quali run, I knew I had to go fast to even make it in. So I kind of put a as fast as possible run down, and was honestly surprised to go P1 in qualifying.
Did you do anything to try and turn that week around? Was there something conscious that you did to try and get into a different headspace, or was it just a matter of working your way through the week and building pace?
I mean, there wasn't anything that I did different that week. I think we always just try and, have our base program that, hit our marks and try and do what we do every week and kind of stick to the same routine. But yeah, I mean, I think that one was the only difference was just the noise on the outside, and just kind of limiting that and trying to kind of take on a few new things in that sense. So it was a busy week, and, lots of media, and I was doing the press conference and all this stuff. So, I don't think there was anything new that we tried, but it was just there was new things around us. But, I kind of knew that, once I was having a tough week at the start, I kind of just had to forget about everything else that was going on outside, and just try and figure out on what I needed to do, to get feeling better on the bike.
Yeah. And you've got your team around you, obviously, which feels like a really supportive environment, but also your parents have been at a lot of the rounds throughout the year. I think they were in the Tweel. Is that a real help for you to have them around? Because they obviously know you better than anyone else.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's huge having my parents around, and, they were able to make it to every race, but Lake Placid, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, they did pretty much the whole season, which is so cool. And, they're just touring around Europe in their little car and camping everywhere, which is super sick. So, it's definitely, a huge deal having them there for me. We have, our catch ups every now and again. It's just kind of nice to have that, family routine where you can just have someone to talk to. And, the team's like that too. It's such a good group, and they definitely, helped out a lot in those times where, there's a lot going on and a lot of noise from the outside, and help kind of, settle everything else down.
Nice. Good to have them about. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Talk us through that race run then, because it ended up with a cracked rim and a soft tire. Did you have any awareness of that in the run?
I knew I hit the rim in the run, but didn't know it was cracked. I knew there's kind of a different feel. When you crack a rim, it's almost like a dead, a doosh, you can feel it. It's quite loud. And, it was a bit of a different noise than I was expecting. So I was a little worried on that run, but yeah, basically came out the gate, and there was a few delays up top and stuff. So I had a longer warm up than usual. I think we were up there for about 2 hours at the start. So it was quite a while. But yeah, I was basically just spinning on the trainer, trying to, keep everything the same. And then I think it was kind of misting, raining a little bit. And then it actually cleared up for the last 5 riders, which was cool. I basically knew hey, this is a big race here. I got to just go, everything I can. And, I honestly would love to tell you a lot more about that run, but I was definitely in the flow state and like not thinking about anything. Like it was a really good run, top to bottom. And like I don't remember what happened really. Like I remember I had one like kind of moment up top coming into the trees, and like, you know, I remember it from seeing it on GoPro and all, and on the broadcast, obviously, but like actually doing it, I was blacked out. So it was a pretty crazy race run.
That's mad. How many runs like that might you get in a season where you really are like so deep in flow that you can't really remember it?
I was lucky to get quite a few this year.
Okay.
But not all of them. I'd say that race, my Champrix race run, and yeah, Mont-Saint-Anne final race run. Well, the Mont-Saint-Anne final race run, I didn't even fully get that. That one was a bit of a different one. But yeah, it happens every now and again where you're like so locked in that you kind of don't think of what's going on, or you don't like have to think about what's going on. Your body's just like reacting, and it just knows from practice on what it needs to do. So it's a pretty cool feeling when you can get feeling that good that it's like, yeah, your brain just switches off.
Amazing. And Nina took the win as well. So you've got 4 in a row at this point, and you've got 2 wins in the team. That must have been a really nice celebration after that race for you all.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that me and Nina were always talking about, or like, you know, the team was always talking about. It's like, well, I'd like to get like a double win would be like next level. So yeah, to that week ended up being way more special than I was expecting. And yeah, you know, to do the double with Nina there, and then to get 4 in a row as well is like insane. So yeah, looking back on that, I'm like getting the chills just thinking about it, because that was, you know, such a sick week.
Yeah, and I spotted something different on your bike that weekend in the pits. Doing a bit of a lap around, and you had a new grip on the bike that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if you've been running it before that, but what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I ended up getting the grip the week before in Val Sol, but I didn't end up riding it. And yeah, we had 1 week off in between Val Sol and La Tuile, and so I was able to spend a bit more time, get used to the grip. And it's one of the ones that we've been working on with One Up, me and One Up. It's the new Goldstone Signature Edition grip. So yeah, it's basically everything that I want packed into a grip, which is really sick. So I don't know exactly when we started, but yeah, definitely over a year ago. And, you know, been working on a few different molds and stuff to get it where it needs to be. But that was the first kind of edition that we got in Val Sol, and yeah, threw them on for La Tuile.
Amazing. And took a win straight away on them. So they must be working pretty good. What do you look for in a grip? What are the elements that you want to have? Yeah,
so there was a few things that I was missing with everything else out there. And it was kind of just some things that I wanted to think of and wanted to try, basically. So those grips that we were trying there in La Tuile, they were like first edition. We were actually cutting some things because they kind of came out a bit weird. And yeah, so they're definitely, you know, needed some mods, and you know, definitely a rough edition. So I think, you know, there was a few things that I wanted to look for was like a really firm end support on the edge of the grip to like kind of put your hands up against. And then I wanted to see about like how you can kind of make your hands kind of into a different position, and like how like all these different things kind of make your hand fit into this like perfect riding position that I'm basically looking for. So yeah, the grip's kind of designed around what I want to do, sadly. So it's not designed around for everyone else, but I mean, hopefully it'll make you guys ride like me. I don't know.
I was going to say it works for you, and I'm going to give it a try, mate, to be fair.
Yeah.
Have you gone through many iterations of that grip then in prototyping?
Yeah. So, I mean, like mock-up designs and stuff, there was, you know, tons and tons of different designs there, but like actual rideable samples, we've gone through, I think, about 3 or 4 different rounds now of like different compounds, different tweaks here and there. So yeah, we've definitely put the work in to get them where I want to be, and I'm pretty stoked with what we've come up with.
Do you find it makes much difference? Because not many people get the opportunity to test all those different things that you'll have been through in those iterations. Like, can you really feel quite a difference? Yeah.
I mean, we were making some pretty big changes and, you know, learning stuff pretty quickly. And this is like the first time I've ever, you know, done any product design kind of in this extent. So yeah, it was kind of just a fun experience trying to learn something new, and you know, I knew what I wanted in the end of the day. I just didn't really know how to get there. So it was nice having the one up guys help me out. I actually have a pair here. I can grab some.
Oh, nice.
So we got, I don't know if this is all the colors or not, but here we go. There's the black one.
Yes, that looks pretty similar to the middle of it for sure is similar to what I think I saw on your bike in La Tuile.
Yeah. So the first edition, these came out way bigger than we were expecting, these ridges. So we having to cut them down. And if that's here, I've been running these white ones this season.
Yeah, they look sick.
Oh, now pretty tight. There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. So yeah, we were cutting those down, and then I was filing a few things down as well. So it was pretty funny making a few mods to them during the races.
Awesome. And the end stop is quite big. It looks bigger than most grips, because we've seen like Joe Breeden's been running like a bolt-on thing on the end of his. Do you find that helps like keep your hands on the bars, or? Yeah,
so it kind of does a similar idea. His Joe Breeden's will do it on a bigger extent. Like that'll keep your whole hand in.
Yeah.
This does it kind of in a bit more discreet way, but you can see like your hand kind of fits into here, and then like this is supposed to fill up like the palm of your hand right here.
Yeah.
So it kind of just mimics your hand, and it feels like it just sits in super nice, like to the edge there. So it's nice for just having that extra kind of cornering support and kind of having that edge to lean off of. It doesn't feel like your hand's like bouncing off to the end of the grip, you know, it's just like locked in there and you don't have to move it.
Nice. I'll have to give some a go and see if I can ride as fast as you. I suspect I know the answer, but we'll give it a try.
What color do you want? We'll get you some.
I don't know. I'd love white, but probably should have black because I'm not cool enough to wear white grips. Thanks, man. Do many people notice when you're testing these things in plain sight? Because they were, they're at a World Cup, and
that's the funny thing is I had like white grips on my bike, and like no one really said anything. No one really was talking about it. No one really cared. So, it was kind of funny how under the radar they went. There's definitely a few, people who were geeking out, and you could tell like people that, really knew their stuff, that they were looking in deep. And, there's a few of that cameras out and stuff, sneaking photos and stuff. But, for the most part, they went pretty under the radar.
Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. And launching very soon, I think early February. So people should keep their eyes peeled for those things. And so you've got the 4P, that's done. And you've had the opportunity now to break that record and go and get a 5th win. But that was going to be in Andorra, which is the home now of Loic Bruni. How are you feeling coming into Andorra? Because like you say, this media storm around the 4P and the opportunity to take the 5th is building, the overall battle is building. It's quite a story, and everyone wants a piece of you. I'd imagine you were feeling the pressure coming into Andorra. Yeah,
big time. Going into Andorra after that La Tuile race was a hard few days for sure. I was just like, I needed a full day to like sleep or something. I was like just so tired, and like my brain was just working at such a like high RPM. I felt like I couldn't sleep. So going into that next week, I knew it was going to be like a tough week, and there's going to be obviously even more talk and even more cameras and even more like everything because it just escalates every weekend. It was kind of a similar week for me as La Tuile. Like started out again, like kind of on the back foot, struggling again, and had like some lines that I was like not super stoked with, and like kind of just like not getting where I wanted to be. And then, it started ramping up kind of come quality day, and kind of that final practice day, I felt really good on the bike, and kind of was like, hey, we're good to go now. But it was definitely a tough race. Like there was a lot going on, lots of, there's a lot of big effort to even just get to the track in early mornings. And, it was an exhausting week for sure.
Yeah. And lots of talk about the rivalry between you and Loic and the kind of the mind games being played. How did you see that at this point in the season? Because like it is where Loic lives. He had the whole Super Bruni, like Superman movie thing going on that weekend. Like he was out for a real battle, wasn't he? He didn't want to let you have that one.
No, for sure. I think, winning 4 times in a row is obviously super motivating, but it's also very motivating for the other people too, because they're, it's a big target on your back. So I think there's many podcasts and interviews and things that Loic was saying, he knew that going into that race, like it was absolutely all or nothing for him. So, and I knew that too going into it, that he was going to give it absolutely everything because he was sick and tired. He told it to my face. He was like, "I'm tired of you winning." So I was like, all right. And yeah, so that was a cool race too. Tough track. I mean, everyone was riding really, really, really fast. I think the quality time was within 2.4 seconds was top 30, or 2.5 seconds top 30.
Insane.
So like I was having like a mediocre quality day, like feeling good, but like not at the top, and I think I was like maybe a second back or 1.2 back. And I was like, yeah, 10th or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but I was definitely back. I just had to put my head down and put everything into that next race on the following day.
Yeah. And it turned out, I mean, okay, you didn't take the win, but you got the second there. So you've got as many points as you were able to get without taking the win. And I think Loic said to you in the finish corral, like, "I'm so glad I beat you," which is it's kind of a brutal, like what is that relationship? Like, yeah, it is fair. And I get the impression you guys kind of get on with each other and there's a lot of respect between you clearly, but it's not necessarily what you want to hear, is it?
No, I mean, it was fine. I dropped in for that race run and I was like, kind of on that whole top upper section, I was hitting holes harder than expected. And then kind of as that, like, I think I even like cased one of the jumps by accident. I was like, what's going on here? And so then like, kind of just as it started getting like rocky, I like really was like, okay, now we're in. And so I was able to like get into the run, but it happened a bit later in the run where I felt like I hit that like, switch of starting to pick up the pace. So, and I think he put like 1.4 into me up at the top split and then basically just maintained that the whole way down. So, I kind of knew at the bottom, like at the finish of my run, like right as I came through the crowd, like that was not enough. Like I knew with that, how bad I rode the top section, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Like I was hoping that my lower section was going to be able to, maybe keep me going and like hold it on. But wasn't enough in the end of the day, but still good enough for second, which I was pretty stoked on. But I think there's like right as I come across the line, you can like see me shaking my head. And I knew at that point that I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. Was it in a way,
like it wasn't the run,
Yeah. Nice to get the monkey off your back though. And like relieve some of that pressure. Like, okay, the 5 Pete hasn't happened. Let's just move on.
It would have been cool. It would have been obviously really, really sick and insane. That's what I was going for. That's what I'm going for every week is to win. But it made the 6-week break a lot less stressful, I think.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So that's at least a positive. Yeah.
What did you do with that time, right? Because it was it was an intense first block of the season. Yeah. So I'm thinking everyone needed a bit of rest.
Big time. Yeah. And so I got second in Andorra and that was the end of the first kind of block of racing. So going home after that. And that it honestly felt good. Like that means, I didn't have the whole 6 weeks with everyone saying, "Oh, can you do 6 in Leger, in the next one?" So it was kind of nice to have that time to just go and chill at home and try and reset as much as I can.
Yeah, and I noticed I think in the second half of the season you moved on to a prototype Fox fork, which not many riders really want to change stuff. Certainly not that significant in the middle of the season. Like what gives you the confidence to come back into the second half of the season with something as different as that on the bike?
Well, like it's kind of a tough question on like where the line is on if you want to be testing new parts mid-season or not, because like if there's a benefit and if it's faster, like you want that part, obviously, like it's going to help you to do that. But if you're not comfortable and if you're not used to it, if it could cause an error, if it could, maybe break your, whatever happened, then obviously that's the call you have to make. But it's like, I'm really trying to find where I cross that line and like what I want to be trying in like mid-season, or like what I want to be like focusing on, doing off-season or preseason testing and stuff like that. So it was kind of one of those ones for me. Like I had the option to do it in a really good time for Crankworks. They were willing to, coming up. Jordy was coming up and giving me the new fork there, so I had lots of time to kind of get used to it and just try it before I made the decision, because he basically just gave it to me. He's like, if you don't want to ride it, like, dude, like no pressure whatsoever. Like this is we're just trying it here. But ended up liking it better and made the decision to try it and keep it going, because it was faster in the end of the day. So yeah, it's kind of hard to make that call though, and like where you want to test stuff and where you don't want to test stuff, because I don't know if it's going to be too much or not, but I think we found a gain in the end of the day. So
good stuff. Yeah, and back over to Europe for Leger, and it was a very wet biblical rain weekend for Leger this year. Not the easiest race for anyone, I guess, but it definitely wasn't, I'm sure, your highlight of the season.
No, another tough one for me here in Leger. Yeah. It was super wet. I wasn't feeling like I was having fun on the bike. It was like wet screams, like as much mud tires and warm clothes as we had. But it was fun riding the bike and practice and stuff. And I was having a good time, kind of just struggling to, stay in the ruts and stuff, and holes were getting really big. And, it was getting really difficult come that second day. But I've just kind of made this stupid error in this one section. I just got caught in this route, and next thing you know, I was on the floor in my quali Q1 run. So I had to go up for Q2, and then was able to put a pretty good Q2 run down to finish second, and was comfortably in, but made the same exact mistake on the race day the next day as my Q1 right? Run. Same exact route, pretty much. Well, I'd say that with the two routes were that far apart. I got over the route that took me out the first day, but then the one on the backside was just like a perfect angle, 45 degree, and my front tire just like sailed off into nowhere. And that crash again. And I was able to get up quicker and try and get going. But at that point, your gloves are dirty. Like my elbow pad was like up here. My knee pad was all like twisted. My goggles were like, after a crash, it's hard to get going right away. So, like jumping to get back on the bike. And I was just like, oh, what have I just done? I think I even screamed a bad word really loud in my run. So sorry, spectators. But that was a really big bummer, because I was just so frustrated with making that same error twice. And I was able to salvage some points. I think I still got I think it was like top 20 maybe. I think it was like 18th.
I want to say you were like 14th or 15th or something, but I can't.
Or was it even that? Okay, I thought it was like 17th. So yeah, I was able to salvage some points for that week and keep the green jersey with a crash. So all things considered, it wasn't the end of the world, but it was just really frustrating to crash in the same spot twice, and to just kind of have it all go away in such like a small thing,
What goes on in your mind when you've got to switch from that, like, right, I'm trying to win a race, to I'm in damage limitation mode? Like, are you able to flick a switch somehow that enables you to do that? Because you seem to be pretty good at it.
I mean, it's honestly, it's hard, because it's the same. It's the same mindset. It's going as fast as you can, right? Like getting down to the finish line as quick as possible. But yeah, I think like the damage limitation one is something I've learned over the years, especially at Leger. Worlds in 2022, I crashed up top in juniors, and it was like a small crash, and I was still up at the split and like riding insane, because I knew I crashed and I had to like try and come back, and I over pushed and pushed too hard and then crashed again. So like I've had some learning experiences over the years with crashes and stuff on like what to do like after, and like kind of how hard to push. But this one I was like, if I crash again, like it's going to really, really suck. But like, I still have to go as fast as I can. I have to still risk it for the points. So I definitely was still like making mistakes and had a few moments down bottom, but I was like, I can't like coast to the finish line, like I still have to go for this. So, yeah, it was one of those ones where I took the risk for sure on after the crash on trying to make up as much time as I could.
Yeah, and in the end, I'm sure worth it, right? You walk away from there with the overall still, and then it's world champs to focus on.
Yeah,
and you didn't seem to visit Champre as much as quite a lot of the riders did. Was that a conscious choice? Was it because you were focused on the overall? Like, what drove that?
It was a conscious choice. I went there twice. I did about 3 or 4 days of riding total, probably about 15, 20 laps before coming there for World Champs. Other people, I think Ronan did 300 laps. Other teams were there. They have, bike setups and everything dialed just exactly to that track. And, I was just going there without mechanic, just going to ride for fun. So, we definitely were, I would say I was on the back foot coming into it, but it wasn't the back foot in my mind because I felt perfectly prepared. Like I was where I wanted to be. Everyone else just done more prep coming into it, but it wasn't actually what I wanted to do because I felt like if I just kept riding that track and kept pushing it as hard as I could, I would just kind of tap out and like hit like this limit. And I wanted to keep that build going where I'm still progressing and kind of just progress into the week and have that moment and that final race run be like my fastest run, that be that final race run, So,
yeah, totally.
Definitely. I took less days coming in and, was a pretty cool week, but, yeah.
Was it plain sailing for you? Because looking from the outside, you made it look pretty easy. Like, how was that week for you? Were there ups and downs? Did you feel confident?
It was a fun week. I mean, I love Chambéry. I've actually spent quite a bit of time there, like in previous years, like the last kind of 4 years before that. I've stayed there and not actually ridden the track much, but like literally just gone to like stay in the town and kind of chill out. And it's a really cool spot, beautiful mountains, lovely area. We had a sick, accommodation with this. I had a crazy room overlooking the mountains and stuff. And it was just a fun week all along. Like the whole family's there, girlfriend was there. It was cool to see all the Canadian people as well, like it being Worlds. So, lots of people from home as well came, other riders and stuff. And the week was good. Like it was pretty smooth sailing. We had an extra day of practice and ended up being kind of wet. So a lot of people didn't even ride, I was surprised on. Some of the people didn't ride. So we were just kind of, sticking to the process, sticking to just lapping as much as we could and kind of getting the bike where it needed to be. But I wasn't actually at that point from getting the new fork on. I was quite happy with the bike and like basically not making any changes. So it's pretty easy week for me and Woody. We were kind of just deciding on tires because the conditions were changing. So yeah, like we didn't really change much to the bike. I think maybe like, click here or two in the shock. And I think we went up in the stem, a little stem spacer, but like for the most part, keeping it pretty similar.
Yeah. And the speed you had in the lower sections of the track in your race run was insane. Like I feel like you stepped that up a notch from where we've seen you ride before. At that point, something happened halfway down the track, and you found another gear.
Definitely, I totally agree. I'm still trying to like I look back at it, and I even know exactly the moment where it like switches, where I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going absolute balls to the wall, and it was. I don't think I've ridden at that pace before. There's one section across the grass where he did that hop right where Andy crashed. And then the kind of over the corner, over the crest into that steep chute into the left hand corner. That section, I was very like came out of that and I'm like, I don't know how I'm alive right now. And I'm like, I don't keep going. Like, this is insane. I had a moment there where I was like, this could have gone very badly, very quickly, but I made it happen. And those next kind of few super tight corners down after that was actually some of the even better riding for me like in my personal opinion, no one really saw it on the cameras. You couldn't really see it, but like some of those holes and rocks and roots and stuff were really bad. And I basically just remember coming in and just like hitting it as hard as I could and just like basically pushing my whole body just like into the hole, like just to like get out of it, you know? And yeah, I remember hitting those corners like the best I had all week. And I was like, oh, this is it. Like that was the spot. So yeah, to get that feeling after, you know, the upper section of track was crazy, just all the way to the bottom, you know, absolutely to the max. So it was, yeah, that was definitely another level of speed that I unlocked there.
Was that a flow state run for you, or were elements of it flow state? Yeah.
Yeah. That week was really good. Like the Champagny track is, I mean, you can basically say it's a downhiller's bobsled track, basically. Like it's, you know, so steep with all those steep corners that you kind of just like get locked in and you go into this like tunnel vision of like remembering everything. And we ended up doing so many laps during the week that like your kind of body just gets used to it, like muscle memory again. And yeah, it's not like it felt like it wasn't my brain reacting. It was my body reacting to everything. And like my brain was just shut off in that race run. So it's a feeling that I'm trying to figure out how I find, and I'm trying to figure out how to tap into that every time, because that would be cool. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's an insane space to get into. But then you've kind of got you've got this huge win, like unbelievable to take it like the way you did. And then you've got to refocus, and you've got the remainder of the season and this overall battle to win. But I'm guessing it's kind of hard, right? Because everyone I've ever spoken to that's won a world champ says there is a lot of media attention and distractions after that win. Like how did you deal with that and get the space you needed to kind of reboot for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean so it was there a break after? Yeah, there was a break after. So there was a week off and before the next race. It was a crazy week. I mean, my phone was blowing up that week. Like, I think I had like 500 text messages or something like that. I was like, this is just absurd. Can't keep up to it, you know? So me and Emma, my girlfriend, we went to Finale Ligure for a week, and we just like chilled, rode bikes. I had my e-bike and a trail bike, and my parents were there as well. We were kind of riding with it, and we did so we did a week in Finale. We went down to like Monaco, Nice, and we did a day in Malini as well. So like basically just like a mid-season like kind of break, almost like vacation. And that was definitely a big help going into the next race, like coming off, you know, such a crazy moment in Champagny, to like be able to, you know, have a moment to like think about that and remember that, and then also just, you know, take a second to chill out was really cool. So we had some nice beach riding.
Very nice. And Lenzerheide not an easy one, right? It's a track where there's not a lot to separate riders.
No, Lenzerheide, yeah, definitely gets pretty tight. I think times were within 3-4 seconds for quali again, so super tight for everyone. Again, one of the tracks that kind of everyone knows too. So like similar sections that we've ridden over the past, and you know, things are just kind of a bit more cut in now. But they did do some good maintenance to it and make a few fun sections that ended up being really sick. It was good week going into it for me. I was you know, feeling recovered after that week off and excited. Santa Cruz surprised me with a new custom painted white bike. They surprised me, but I knew it was coming because they were very bad at keeping the secret. But it was pretty cool to have that custom white bike delivered there and to kind of put those stripes on, and that'd be the first outing in them.
Yeah, and the quali went pretty well, right? I think you 4th place quali.
You're gonna have the stats better than I do, I promise.
And the finals didn't go your way, man. There was like I couldn't quite. I went and rewatched it. I couldn't quite work out what happened, but it looked like you were in the wrong spot slightly in that steep sheet.
Yeah. So Lenzerheide, that was a frustrating one. I was feeling good. Like that week was a better one, kind of coming off that motivation and high from from Champery, I was riding well, and I kind of knew I had a really good run in me. And then yeah, basically that final race one was just a snowball effect of coming into that steep chute, and I just let go of the brakes for like a split second too long, and I knew it at the top of the section that I was like going too fast coming in, and that I wasn't going to be able to slow down at the bottom. And I knew it for like that moment in between. I was like, oh, here we go. Like this is going to be quick. Like it's either going to work out really good or not. Yeah, I basically kind of like it's steppy down, and I was going so fast that like my rear was like just coming off the ground, and like I wasn't able to stop because I was just like gapping off of it basically. And then there's a big hole at the bottom, and I came in and just like, yeah, wasn't strong enough, and big push up, got pushed to the low line, which I hadn't ridden all week. And, basically just like kind of was going too fast at that point and just skidded out and crashed. But, yeah, it was such another frustrating one. Like that race and the Leger race were the most frustrating for me. Those two crashes, because there were like sections that I was been riding super good. Like I was riding that section so well. I had a video of my last practice run of that section, and I greased it so perfect. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I just do that? Like so frustrating. But yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes, and it was a good learning experience. But it made things a lot harder going into the next few races for sure.
Well, yeah, that was when Loic took the lead back in the overall. Does that have a mental impact on you at that point to lose that horrific green skin suit?
I was bummed. I mean, I was quite mad like at myself for like, the 2-3 hours after, and then I kind of got over it and was, trying to make it all good after that. But going into the next race, I was kind of almost more stoked to be chasing. I was obviously really bummed on where I was at, but there was a lot of pressure going on, like more pressure going on to the Lake Placid race than the Mont-Saint-Anne one for me, because I knew like, okay, now I'm like 100 points behind here. Like I need to like give myself a chance at this one so I can even have a chance at the next one, like this is like this one's more important, because if I don't go well here, I won't have a chance at the next one, So I basically just, kind of had all eyes on one basically goal that I needed to do was just like that one like race run in Lake Placid was all I had to worry about for the next, 2 weeks up coming into that race. So, going home after Lens I was like home back into the gym, and then we actually went to US Open for a few days to kind of get used to jet lag. It was just like, all I was thinking about was that Lake Placid run. Was just like, this is all that matters right now in my life. So, I was pretty interested in like, in a cool, like feeling to be like that focused on like one thing. And it helped me, with all the other distractions as well, like kind of just, get rid of all that and just focus on the one path ahead. But it was another tough week for me there for sure. I was struggling at the start, kind of like La Tuile and Andorra, and then was ramping it up through the rest of the week, and was able to put a good run down come finals.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. One thing I wanted to talk about was the amount of fans that were around you after that race run in Lenzerheide. I mean, you get it everywhere, but dude, like there was literally 10 times more people outside your pit than any of the other most popular riders on the circuit.
That was nuts. A crazy one. That was just
yeah, go on, man.
Let me go back on that. That was such a funny one. I am so frustrated and so mad at my performance. And then literally 5,000 people show up at your pits, and you have to go sign signatures for every single one and put a smile on. I was like, this is just insane right now. I was still kind of grumpy at that point too. So I'm sorry to any of the fans if I was being a little short or whatever, but it was carnage. Dude, we were like, my name was just getting screamed at from all angles. Like people were throwing stuff, and adults were like pushing kids out of the way to get to the front. And it was a war zone out there. But yeah, one of the crazier like after races we've had ever for sure. that lens I had one. There was so
How do
many
you
people.
deal with it? Yeah, because you can't, like, I spoke to the guys and I think they said they literally had to shut the pit up to be able to get you guys away to go for dinner at the end of the day.
They closed the doors on people.
Hours.
Yeah, it was bad.
Insane. How do you find it? Because I mean, that's not like that every race, but you're pretty popular at every race, dude.
Yeah, no, it's something that we are kind of trying to figure out on like what the best way to do is. Like if like a signing session is the best way to do it, like a designated signing session for all the fans, at this time of day or what. But it is hard when like there's so many people coming by and like we're trying to, do something, we got a job to do. And then, getting those distractions sometimes does suck. So we usually try and like kind of limit our time and push things to like, hey, after the race, we'll do like a big signing session, or like we didn't have like anything like really formal and planned this year, but we had those like airport fences, that you roll out. And so we were kind of like directing traffic a bit, and I would go out there and, sign stuff for about an hour and then come back. But, yeah, like kind of before the race and stuff, we're trying to limit stuff. And then after the race, it's kind of anything goes.
Yeah.
But it's a lot,
kind of
especially that race.
A bit of a new problem, eh? Like the amount of fans is on the up, which is good. But yeah, they all seem to want to be outside one pit, which is interesting. Let's talk about Lake Placid then, because that looked like a track that wasn't straightforward to put together fast.
No. Yeah, that one was a lot. That one probably took like the most amount of like brain power of a race run. Even though like the bottom section wasn't like super gnarly or like pretty flat, kind of more motorway. Like you couldn't see the rocks underneath the dust and like the ground and the spotty light and everything. Like it was just like a lot going on, and all the leaves and stuff too. And there was kind of just an interesting race and a new venue for all of us, right? So track was getting pretty cooked right away. Super dusty, and it just like exploded. So there was just so many loose rocks and so much stuff going on that it was like a pretty mentally exhausting track.
Yeah, and performance in the long run then, I would say pretty impressive, right? Like qualified 18th, which I'm sure is not where you'd want to be, but finished 4th, and more importantly finished ahead of Loic. Yeah.
So that's like that was another race, like perfect proof of like how I built through the weekend. I think my time training, I was even like 32nd or something. Like I was way back. So like I peak way later than I guess everyone else. But yeah, like kind of have to, I knew in that quali run, 18th, I made it in Q1. I remember like doing my post ride spin and like being like so nervous that I was going to Q2 and like not going to make it. And then so was hyped to squeak through there. But again, like I knew that still I was thinking, doing that race run, thinking about the following day, even though I hadn't even made it yet. So, kind of was still just knew what the plan was, and kind of that final morning practice was really good. I got a few lines that I tweaked in after a track walk, and was able to pull a really, really good run down together. And on that final run, like I felt good on that final run there, but like other races, I'd feel better in practice and stuff. Like it came up to that final run to where like I felt good. So it was like as last minute as possible. But
yeah, it looked like it again, another one that meant a lot to you this season by the looks of that.
Yeah, it was the best feeling, like 4th place ever, because I knew I was going to struggle at the bottom of that track, and like I just had to go as fast as I could up top because I was going to be slow down bottom. So I think I was even fastest guy to the 3rd or 4th split, and then ended up losing like 1.5, but was 4th. Like still to be, in touch for like losing 1.5 on a motorway that long, like sounds like a lot, but like that's good for me. So I'm stoked. I would have been expecting to lose, 3, 4, like I did the day before that. So that was a big win. And I think doing that like triple at the bottom of that race run was a big help for that. I was like the only one to do it, but it was so much faster, 100%. No one else did it. I don't know why, but I guess that was one of them that worked.
Yeah, so fair play. And you've done at this point all you can then to bring the battle to the final round. You're on a track where you've previously dominated, and you know you're going to have that like home rider support. Did you feel confident though coming into that weekend? Because there was still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, that it was a lot of weight off my shoulders in that Lake Placid race. So I was like, okay, now I'm in position, and like this is now all I need to do is like it was like a new goal, right? So like now all I need to do is win this race, and like whatever happens, happens, right? Like I can't control what Loic does. I can't, take him out in the first corner and make him 30th, like that's not the way racing is. So, I basically, my goal is to just go and win the race. Like that's it. So, again, leading up into that week, it was everything we were doing was just for that one race. Like, training sessions with my trainer flew over from Vancouver. So, he was there and we were doing gym sessions and, making sure everything was good on the bike and just going the extra step to, make sure everything's dialed. But, it was, it was a really fun week. Like felt like I had that kind of confidence from that last week. Like, even though I didn't podium or do well, I like had a bit of personal confidence, knowing that I was riding well. And I was like, hey, this is like our last chance. Like, let's go. So, yeah, definitely a lot of things were coming down to that final race though.
And there was a lot of media stuff kind of put on you as well in the run up. There's always going to be when you're part of that championship battle and, everyone wants a piece of you. But there's also a lot of noise around whether the rivalry, however strong the rivalry is between you and Loic, people are trying to like pour gasoline on the fire kind of thing and amp that up because it makes it more exciting for all of us that love watching the sport. What's it like for you being part of that though, when you've got this focus on a race run that's coming up, but all that stuff going on around you?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the noise that is distracting from what your task at hand is, but it's like at the same point, it's kind of a privilege to be in the spotlight of all that stuff. So it's cool. So, I still try and make time for, all the fans and all the media and try and do as much as I can for stuff. But there was a lot of things that we were like kind of trying to control. So like certain times the media crews were allowed in the pits and like certain times we were doing interviews and like kind of my team manager Seb did a really good job at that for that race on kind of managing the outside expectations and where I was needed. So, it was a lot. Like I think we did a signing session at like 7:30 on quali night, like kind of a weird one at super like pitch dark. There was like no one there. It was like weird, but thing we had to do. Yeah, like it was because we didn't want to do it. That was the only time. Right. So, still trying to get as many of those like kind of sponsor obligations, let's say, done. But, yeah, I mean, always trying to focus on the task at hand, which was racing. But it was a lot that week. Like they had me in the press conference. They had me doing like hero shots, like in front of the trophy and all that stuff. And it was, a good few hours of content.
Yeah. And Loic was in the press conference as well, right?
Yeah, he was in the press conference. He was supposed to do the hero shots with us as well, like with the trophy, but yeah, he didn't show up for that. So
okay. Are they like trying to pitch you against each other in those forums? Because that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, no, that's their whole idea is like they're just making it the battle, right? And it was funny. I was trying to like, because my whole like mindset going into the racing is like, yes, it's a rivalry. Like, yes, he's kind of the guy that I need to be. That's the truth. Can't hide that. But I can only affect my race, and I can only change what I can do. So I was just trying to look at it like a very kind of selfish way. Is like I'm just trying to focus on myself and not really care about what everything else goes on outside. So I was trying to give them kind of that mindset, and they weren't liking it because it wasn't what they wanted.
Amazing. And I mean, Loic, to be fair to him, put in an incredible qualifying performance there. I think he was 3.4 seconds quicker than you in that session.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we had a championship quali run there. Like he was doing everything he needed to do, and I was trying to do everything I needed to do. And, it was cool to see, the way he went about his things on where he thought he needed to like put his rundown to benchmark. And that was an interesting one. Like definitely lots of tension between us that week, but like it was mutual. Like like good tension, you know, like it's not like we want to rip each other's eyes out, but like, it's like, oh, I'm coming for you kind of thing. Like, but yeah, I mean, he was definitely kind of playing up to that narrative, but I was, yeah, just trying to hold back a bit.
How do you process that result after qualifying? Like 3.4 is a big chunk to find, but did you know where, like, were you holding back?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Well, again, this is kind of coming back to like trusting like my process and the way that I work, you know, how I build late and how I was able to kind of, you know, come back, and my quality runs aren't always as good as my final runs. So I kind of have to just, you know, bank on my final race run and, you know, just trust myself that it's going to get better and I'm going to go faster the next day. But yeah, I knew that was a big chunk. I wasn't expecting him to go 3.4 seconds quicker. I was like, wow, I was impressed for sure. He rode very well. But I think he put like 2 into me at the first split, and I was like, we saw him do one line there that was way faster that I switched to. So there was one of those, and yeah, I just ended up going faster the next day. But yeah, I'm still bummed that I'm like really bummed that he wasn't able to race, because like I think you can see it in my face in after the end. Like I was, it was such a crazy feeling, like all this stuff going against like the whole season, right? Like, okay, we're looking at his line and my line, we're, you know, comparing and stuff, but it's still like, there's so many things that you still do, you know, talk about with him and like try and battle with him about. But, yeah, it's such a crazy season, like all this stuff coming down to that last race, you know, like yeah, just thinking about it now, is there's so much to talk about. I could keep going on for an hour.
It was totally nuts. So what's going through your head in the start gate, right? It's race day. You know, you've got to give it your all. You don't know anything about what Loic's been going through, you know, as a side note at this point. You're in the start gate and you've got to lay down an absolute heater of a run. Like, what do you remember from that moment before your race run?
I remember like the time before the race run being like really just happy and like really stoked to just go and ride my bike. Like the whole warm up going into it, like having the whole team around me, like the send off from like leaving the pits and going up for my run. It was like the best thing ever. Like the whole team was just like cheering me on, and it was just like a really, really sick moment. And so that kind of energy, you know, lasted me through the whole race run, and kind of just went up to the top and was with Woody, just as normal, like just, you know, normal banter, chatting back and forth, talking about, you know, what lenses we're going to choose or whatever. But literally there's so much tension. There's so much going through my head, but I'm just trying to keep it the same. Just trying to, you know, normal process, just keep it all, do the same warm up, do the same, you know, have the same nutrition, same drinks, same setup, everything. So yeah, it's crazy, like the routine you get into, and then like trying to eliminate all the other distractions and just focus on that it's a tough thing to do.
And it feels like it was another one of those turned up to 11 race runs. It had a bit of that lower half of Chompery vibe.
Yeah.
How much of that run do you remember? Because there was like a moment after Stevie's drop where you like pre-jumped kind of on that piece section, looked like you were about to go out the front door.
Yeah.
There was some leery moments.
For sure. So like that run, I was in the gate and I'm like, I'm just like, this is amazing. Like I'm in this, looking over the whole, like, you know, river, and I was like, this is just beautiful. I'm like, I'm in the best. You couldn't get into a better situation than I'm in right now. So I was just excited to drop in and like obviously so nervous. Like this is the biggest moment of my life. I could definitely, I had those nerves up top. Like I was making kind of like a few like jittery mistakes, you know, getting stood up in corners. And there was this one right-hander that I like came out and I was ripping this inside because there was less holes, but I like came in hotter and like kind of turned up a bit too high and like came out of the like 180 corner. And I was like riding on like this close to the edge of the track, just like on the edge, and I had to like pedal and hit double to like get back on. And so it was definitely like not a pretty race run. Like I had those kind of like jittery, sketchy moments. But yeah, like right as that Stevie Smith drop kind of area is when I was like, okay, this is like, I'm back now. That's when I was like, I can't let another like Andorra race run happen where I like, I'm riding well and almost there, but like just make like just enough mistakes up top to like just be off of it. So I was like, I need to go absolutely everything. So yeah, from the Stevie Smith drop down, that pre-hop I got it like that. Yeah, I've only done it like probably 4 or 5 times before that, but was kind of trying to keep it a secret a little bit, like not doing it too much. But it was hard because it was like a little smaller one before, and then you had to like hit this rock and time it perfect to get the right boost over. And I was looking at it because you're tucked coming into it, and you're just staring at it forever, right? So you're looking at it and you see it for so long. So every lap, I'm like always thinking about it. And then finally, I ended up pulling it in practice, and it worked. But I think that section to the end of the rocks, or like to the start of the rocks, is where I put a good chunk of time into the rest of the field. Like I was able to gain a bit there, and then. Yeah, I don't even know what happened in the rocks. I was lucky to survive there, dude. Oh my God. I
was going to ask you about that. Yeah, I did a bit of maths, and you were 3% faster than anyone else in that 3%? Section of the track.
Okay.
Which is nuts in a field of everyone going that hard. Like,
yeah.
Was it a brain off thing? Was it flow state? What was happening?
Yeah, that was a brain off moment. So came in, and I'm like, obviously the whole crowd's just lining the track there. And so it's insane. It's the coolest feeling ever. You just like, I'm loving it at this point. Right. And, so yeah, I came into the rocks, and I'm like kind of bounced up onto this high line and got this like double to like downside to downside that I hadn't got before. That like I was riding that line always, but like I just like greased it perfectly coming in. But that meant I had so much more speed coming into like kind of the slight bend in it that I was like, I didn't really know what to do. So I was kind of coming up that there's a small tree that was unpadded that you wouldn't even be able to see. That's like right on the lip of that like big compression where I like kind of gapped off and actually clipped my handlebar on the tree. And that's kind of what sends me a bit like weird looking. Like it was just a minor one, but like just grazed the edge. And then I'd like landed on an upslope like this somehow. And I don't know how the bike just went through and kept moving forward. But yeah, I was like almost in the air expecting to like land and just immediately go out like over the bars. Cause I was like kind of nose heavy and like almost dying. And then I just like landed and kind of just like bounced together. And then I had to pull for the next thing right away. And then I was out, and it was like, holy moly, I don't know how I made it through there. But yeah, kind of from there down, I was just like having so much fun on the bike and just like holding on barely because I had all these near death moments in this race run that my arms were dead. I was so exhausted from the season. And yeah, it was, that was like the only time that I've been that fatigued at a race and where I like actually couldn't hold on. Like usually I'm completely fine with arm pump and stuff. And yeah, that one was not.
Yeah, you put it all down there, to be fair. So you're on the hot seat, you've done everything you can, and you're waiting to see what Loic does and how the championship plays out. And then the camera cuts to an empty start gate. Mm-hmm. Talk us through that from your perspective, because it was nuts for everyone watching it. Dude. Like the commentators, all of us were like, what the hell? But you're the man that this impacts. Like, talk us through it.
Mm-hmm. No, I was obviously just like best feeling ever. I did my job. I was like, that's all I need to do. I'm in the hot seat and I have just finished my season. Like this is everything is done now. Like all this pressure, everything leading up into this year and everything that I've done, I'm like, it's just over. So like, that was a crazy like moment. Like just then like overall, like outside of the overall, it was like, okay, I'm done what I need to do now. That's a good feeling. And then, yeah, I was basically just getting to watch what happens next. But, seeing that empty circuit, I was like, that was the last thing that I was expecting to happen. Like that wasn't even a like situation in my head that I was thinking of. Like I just didn't even think that he was going to crash and not be able to start. So, that was like, I was just so confused because I hadn't even ran that scenario through my head,
So strange, man. And there's been a lot of debate about that moment, like about whether it's an anticlimax or just an insane end to a mad season of racing. Like now it's
Yeah,
sunk in for you. Like, how do you feel about
I think that he absolutely did the right thing. There's a lot of people saying that he didn't, and I think that if I mean it's hard to say, but like if you were in that situation, right? Like you have only one option, and you're trying to do this, and you're trying to. This is like your next thing. Like this is what you have to do. Okay, you're injured. You're struggling. It's like that's your best option at being like the ultimate competitor and at making it as hard as possible on me. Like if he told everyone and if the word got out that he crashed, I could have just cruised down and got eighth and won the championship, and it would have been horrible. But he made me, push as hard as I can and push for the win because I thought he was still healthy, right? And expecting him to go well as well. So, if I were to put a mistake down or get a puncture, he was able to cruise down. So like it would have been a little bit unethical if I like crashed and flatted or something or DNF'd and then he just like cruised down and won the championship. That would have it would have looked bad, but I mean, he kind of had to do that in his eyes, right? Like that's his only option. So he was just being a racer.
Yeah, I don't know how they kept that under wraps. There's so many people on the hill these days filming stuff that to have a crash and not let anyone know about it is
I mean, especially at that one, right? Like it must have been in like a super random section of track. I don't even know where it was, but must have gotten lucky with no cameras on him.
Yeah. And so were you able to enjoy like the rest of that evening? Was there like a weird feeling for you, or were you able to soak it in and enjoy what you'd achieved?
It wasn't it wasn't an ultimate relief. Like I still felt like bad for and I was like, obviously not like, it definitely ruined the moment, I would say, like of winning the overall. Like I was going through so much and just went through so much, mental stress in that race run. And then for it to it still mattered obviously, but for him not to put the race run down and for like it to just be over like that, I was like, I just was in such a crazy mindset for so long. And then, I was just like, didn't even know what to think. It was gnarly. Like there's so many, different people like right after, like people were saying, oh, he crashed this, he broke his arm. Someone was like, oh, he broke his foot. And I was like, what's going on? Like I was getting so many random people telling me what was happening, but I didn't actually find out exactly what happened until I messaged him after. But it was a crazy week, man. Crazy week. I'm still like coming off of a high from that.
And I guess you've not seen him since, right? Because he had to fly straight back for the birth of his first child. So it will be a while before you get to see each other. Yeah, it'll be, I think he flew home early and was able to make it for the birth of his child, which is really cool. So I guess everyone kind of wins at the end of the day, but not still such a crazy way to end the season, like with everything coming down to it. Yeah, unbelievable season, man. And so much success, but you're an athlete. So no doubt you've looked very critically at your performance from 2025. Like, what do you personally feel you need to work on for next season?
I think there's a few like small things. Like I need to work on my quad strength. And I need to work on this and I need to work on that. But I think like I learned a lot this year. So taking all of that into next year is going to be a huge help. Like I already feel like the nerves as when I was first starting out as an elite to now are like getting way better and I'm able to handle all this stuff. So I'm only really kind of looking forward to just more racing and it becoming more and more fun from now on because I'm getting used to it and it's kind of becoming like a home for me, let's say. But I think plans for me is just get my head stuck into it like normal. We're getting back into training now and next steps for us is Hardline.